Hello viewers, it's Sentai Michael from Skill Reviews, bringing you a new podcast with myself called The Super Sentai Review. And like always, I'm going to speak very loudly, very clearly, and very slowly, in case you didn't understand me. Also, I try to do my best not to breach your heart during this audio podcast recording as well, not to cause any audio feedback as well. And finally, if you're under 18, this audio podcast recording will change your adult limit. Once again, if you're under 18, this audio podcast recording will change your adult limit if you're under 18. Now, if you're over 18, that means you get to watch this audio podcast recording. So anyway, with this and everything else out of the way, let's get into the latest episode of Donbrothers. So basically, it starts with like this. We see the other ranger just lying in her aunt's apartment on the couch, seems like it's her day off, and basically she was looking at manga on her phone. So basically, her ex-boyfriend has been trying to call her, and basically she doesn't want to be bothered with him. Since after that whole fiasco, after that whole wish fiasco, that he was a coward and whatnot, and she not realized she can do better. So basically, Hala, the Yellow Rangers were, Hala, the Yellow Ranger, aunt is a cop. It's a detective. So basically, she came in after going shopping, and she was talking about this old ghost story about this girl who haunts this telephone booth, waiting for a phone call from her true love. So basically, and that's when Holloway said that, and that sounds, that sounds like, that's an okay story, but, I figured that the aunt must have figured she could, was trying to get her idea to do a manga about it, do a manga series about it, but she was probably not interested, and decided, and that's when the Yellow Ranger got into the dollar. Ever since back in before smartphones, telephone booths were basically was used all over Japan, and now since the smartphone has come out, there's no need for telephone booths anymore. So basically, got into a montage about this. So anyway, meanwhile, there's a small hill. We see this truck of a telephone guy about to take this telephone booth, and all of a sudden this Naha monster started to attack the telephone guy who's trying to take the telephone booth, since nobody is not really using it. So they think this sort of like this certain areas where telephone booths are not being used anymore, or the telephone company take the telephone booths away. So basically, the telephone guy tried to take the telephone booth away. Before they even got close to it, this Naha monster started to attack them. So basically, the Rangers, morphers teleport them. So basically, lucky. To teleport them towards the scene where the Maha monster was attacking the phone company guys at, and basically, and the Yellow Ranger's aunt was, even though she didn't see the morpher basically teleport her away, she was already teleported away before the aunt even turned around. So anyway, the Rangers showed up, all the Rangers showed up and started to attack the monster, but it seems like every time they attacked the monster, their attacks went right through the monster, and basically didn't want to, the monster was untouchable. So basically every time they attacked it, the attack went right through it like it was a ghost. So anyway, once the telephone people left, the monster disappeared once the telephone people left in their truck, while touching the phone booth. So basically, once those telephone people left, the monster start attacking the Rangers and disappeared. So basically, the other Rangers start one by one, all the Rangers, teleported back to where they were, and the other Ranger, and the other Ranger noticed before she teleported, she noticed a girl inside the telephone booth, and she was like, wondering if could that story could the story about the girl about the date girl about the story about the girl in the telephone booth be true? And basically, she got teleported back, and basically, she got teleported back back to her aunt's apartment and surprised her aunt. So it was like, what the hell is going on? Like, what the hell are you in, and how you go in 1 minute and the next minute you're back here. So basically, instead of explaining the situation, explaining the situation that, I'm the other Ranger, she said to her aunt, like, what, I'm going to be, I had no time to explain now, but I will explain. I will explain. I will explain sooner or later. So basically, she took her bike and ride towards the telephone booth and met the girl who was inside the telephone booth. So basically, the girl's name was Navajo. She was very clingy and basically and the other lady had second thoughts that maybe this whole story about that ghost girl waiting for her true love to call in that telephone booth might not be true. So basically, she decided to decide to really, to leave the girl, Navajo, who was in the telephone booth and went back to her aunt's house. So basically, when she got back to her aunt's house, the aunt was, the other aunt was like, so basically, are you going to explain the whole you disappearing and reappearing, but when she was about to explain the whole situation, she noticed that Miyako, the girl who was in the telephone booth, was in her aunt's apartment, and her aunt couldn't see her. So basically, she is a ghost. So basically, now she knows that she's dealing with a ghost. So basically, she went to go get some help from the other Rangers. Basically, so basically, she went to go get some. Get some help from the other Rangers. Basically, the blue and pink Rangers. So basically, turns out that, tell her about this whole ghost situation. So basically, it was hard. So basically, Shinji, the blue Ranger, and Yoshi, the pink Ranger, was trying to, didn't really buy this whole ghost story, hoping. So basically, the other Ranger decided to help the ghost Minako to find her true love, and basically get, and help her pass over into the next life. So basically, at first, the blue and pink Ranger was not buying the whole ghost story until they was actually was able to see Minako as well. So basically, they started to freak out a little bit, blah blah blah. So basically, Black Carter was there as well. So basically, they gave her. So basically, the other Ranger made a drawing of what Miko's boyfriend was, was like as a teen, at her age and whatnot, blah 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 and shit like that. And also told the other Rangers the name of Miko, the ghost girl, ex-lover. So basically, it just was wondering, I heard that name before. So anyway, he was thinking that he might know, thinking that, he's thinking to himself, I heard that name before, maybe maybe I can find this, I heard his name before at work, so basically maybe I could find him at work, So anyway, so basically when Taro came in, she assumed that, turns out that Taro is a Black Kaido and Isbar, the Black Ranger, which none of the other Rangers know, including Black Taro doesn't know that Isbar is the Black Ranger. It's the Black Ranger, kind of looks like, Mimiko, the Ghost Girl's ex-boyfriend, So basically, Taro didn't freak out, she was like, blah, blah, blah. So basically, there was kind of surprise with this whole ghost situation. So basically, Taro is brought and Black Tiger decided to go out on the date of the ghost girl. They figured that maybe if they go out on a date with the ghost girl, maybe that it will help them pass. Maybe it'll help the ghost girl Miko, pass on to the next life. So basically the date, Miko, the ghost girl, was telling Hadara, the other ranger, about how her date with the guy. So basically, her date with Tyler went okay. Her date with Tyler went okay. So did with Isbar. So did with Isbar. As for Black Kylo, this dude showed up on a motorcycle, just in this Elvis outfit, and basically all the girls and kids started surrounding him. So basically, goddamn. Got there. It was kind of funny, but anyway, but she was still hoping that maybe that hoping that her love is maybe still alive, and basically, hear her true love's voice again on the telephone. So basically, turns out that Yoshi found Mimiko's ghost former lover at his job. Turns out that Yoshi found out that he's one of his clients, and basically told him the whole situation about Mimiko is a ghost now. She's been waiting for she can't pass over to into the next life, until she hears your voice on the telephone booth and whatnot. So anyway, the Rangers had the plan to get so basically they get Mimiko's ex-lover, with true love, to call her on the telephone booth, and everything was going off very well until the telephone guys came back again and tried to take the telephone booth, and all of a sudden this Naho monster appeared and started to attack the phone booth guys again. So basically turns out that the Naho monster is connected to the ghost girl Mimiko. So basically the Rangers, so basically the Rangers morphed up and basically started to fight the Naha monster that was connected to Mimiko. So basically, we see Jaro showed up, and basically he was about to morph up and help the others fight the monster, and out of no sudden Dom of Osama showed up, and basically, and Jiro had no choice but to deal with Dom of Osama first, and basically Jiro started to fight Dom of Osama, and basically things will go out. So basically, the Ghost Girls continue talking to her ex-lover on the telephone inside the telephone booth. So basically, while the ghost girl was continually talking to her ex-love inside the telephone booth on the telephone, Jaro managed to force Dom over someone to retreat. The other Rangers, had to deal with the giant-sized monster, knowing that they couldn't really couldn't really attack the monster, and basically, after Midako heard the words from her ex-love on the telephone, inside the telephone booth, that's when she started to pass on to the next ride, and basically the Rangers was able to destroy the monster after Midako passed on to the next ride, and basically destroyed the Maha monster, and basically things were okay. So basically, after Midako passed on to the next ride in the way to destroy the monster, Midako so basically, Haruo saw the telephone guy took the telephone booth away, and basically, and felt good to helping this ghost girl finally get some rest, helping her get to talk to her true love again, and send her to the afterlife peacefully. So basically, Haruo has been getting a phone call from her ex-boyfriend. Instead of married, she got, she decided to answer it and felt like, I don't want to talk to you anymore, so don't call me no more. Real through. I see what type of guy you really are. So basically, she was like, she decided to tell her, to respond to her ex-boyfriend's call, and basically I don't want to deal with you anymore, so forget it, blah blah blah. So basically, turns out it was the ex-boyfriend, it was the ex-boyfriend's mother who was calling her this whole time using her son's phone, and basically Hana felt kind of my bad, felt kind of stupid that that he was that he thought he was telling her ex to get lost. Instead, she accidentally told his ex-mom to to piss off instead. So that's how the episode ended, with Haruo realizing that it was not her ex-boyfriend calling her this whole time. It was the ex-boyfriend's mom who was calling her this whole time, and that's how the episode ended on that note. So anyway, this was a good-hearted episode. So basically, this episode did have a good story to it. So basically, the way you done a good thing. So basically, this was a good-hearted episode, and basically had some good character development for the other Ranger as well. So anyway, this was a good-hearted episode. So anyway, that's all I can say. This was a good episode. What do you guys think? Anyway, sign off. One.